So thank you for joining today, guys. Let's get going. So today we'll be going through the best ways to collect data from your website. So my name is Ed. I work in the professional services team within SpotlerUK. The webinar will be recorded, so if you've got any questions, please submit them as we go along, and I can go through them at the end of the webinar. So there are a few different ways to collect subscriber data on your website. Using a sign-up form, either in the footer or on the home page, is probably the most frequently used method. Offering an incentive is a great way to increase sign-ups if you do choose to go down this route. It does rely on the visitor seeing the form and being engaged enough with your brand to sign up. So it's best to make it as easy as possible for the user to sign up using one of these forms. So making it really clear, quite sort of a prominent place on the website, just hopefully improves the chance of them signing up using that form. I'd recommend not asking for too much information at this point, as you can always ask this later on. The most important thing here is to capture their email address. You can enhance the data you hold on that user or recipient during the welcome journey, possibly. So asking for their interest, for example, when they receive that email, they can then say what they're interested in, and then you can better tailor the campaigns moving forward. But to begin with, just go for email address and possibly a first name, for example. So if you are in Pure 360, to generate the code needed to create this sign-up form, if you head over to the List tab in Pure 360, on your marketing list, select the drop-down and then click on the sign-up form. You'll then have the option to download this code, which can be added to the website. A great tip when creating a sign-up form is to pass through hidden values. So you could include a source, track what page they signed up for example, or if they're signing up on a product page, what type of product do they sign up on? So then you can sort of hopefully improve the campaigns that you send out to them. So you can create segments on that master list by using a value within that source field, for example. By default, we include reCAPTCHA and we enable double opt-in, which we'd recommend sticking with. Using at least one of these is crucial to stop bots from abusing your sign-up form. If you do plan to use double opt-in, you'll want to update the template used for this email, as our standard one won't be branded towards your brand, for example, and sort of follow your brand guidelines. So we'd recommend updating the email that we send out so it does match your normal emails. There is a link on this page to view our help site, which goes through in much more detail around reCAPTCHA and double opt-in and creating those sign-up forms. So if you have any problems, click on that link there and there'll be lots of information to help you out with. Another way you can increase signups on your website is to use a newsletter subscription checkbox during the checkout process. So as you're already capturing their email address for the order, it's an easy way for a visitor to sign up to a newsletter. You can also use this option for an account creation page. So if you do have a separate page where someone can create an account with your business, you could ask them to sign up to your newsletter on that page as well. Sometimes email subscriptions are sent directly to another platform like a CRM. So in this instance, an integration could be used so that any subscriptions can also be shared with your email platform. This might take some development time to set up. So if you don't have it already in place, you might need to ask your developers to help you set this up, but it's definitely worth having if you are sending data to your CRM rather to Pure 360 or another email platform. So if data is being sent from a CRM and you do have this set up, there's a really good opportunity to enhance the profile of that subscriber. So for example, you could include their last order date or their favorite product category. You can then use this to better target them with email campaigns moving forward. So if you have that data, you might as well share it with your ESP, email service provider, so you can better target them with future campaigns. Popovers offer an excellent opportunity to increase the size of your marketing list. So they allow a lot of flexibility. I mean, they can be effective, but they can also don't have to be too intrusive. So I know some people are put off by the fact that popovers can be intrusive, but they are really effective at growing your marketing list. So definitely recommend looking at it in a bit more detail if you are interested, because they really do work. So we'll head over to Squeezy now. This is a great platform available within the Spotler group to use for creating popovers. So I'll take you through creating a popover and show you what options are available to help them perform well. So what I'll do is I'll just open up Squeezy now. So hopefully you can all see that. 1 second. Yeah, perfect. So I've just loaded up our demo account within Squeezely. So I'm going to create a personalization, which can be a popover. So what I'll do is I'll click on New Personalization. I'll then be asked what sort of personalization do I want to create and what template to use. So there are different types of popovers. So it might just be an information-based one, but obviously today we're focused on increasing the number of signups or getting data from the website. So I'll choose one of these feedback forms. There are a couple of styles. I'll go for the Venice one. On the right-hand side, you can see a preview of that popover. On the left, you've got a few options to create the popover. So first, you can give it a variant name. So variant allows you to test different text or images or questions within that popover, so you can see which one works better for you. I'll stick with just the first with one variant, for example, on this one, so I'll just leave that as it is. Below that, you can set your forms. So by default, we've got email, and also we have included a subscribe button. What I can do is I can include additional fields if I wanted to. So here I can select my type of field. So it could be a text field. I could ask for their first name. What I'll do is I'll give it a label, a first name. I might want to just move that up. So what I'll do is I'll delete that, add a new field. I'll choose that as a checkbox, and then we will select the marketing opt-in. And then I can use the sign up text box there. There are many other fields you can create. So it could be a drop down. So again, you can ask their preference, how many times they want to receive emails from you, that sort of thing. So there are lots of options you can include here, but I'll stick with the standard one, just as the email address and the first name. Below that, I can set my message they see after they have filled in the form. So you can change that there. Below that display, I can include an image URL, or I can upload my own image. So you might want to include your logo or a graphic to show on that popover, or you can simply hide it if you didn't want to include an image on this particular popover. Here I can set my title, so sign up to our newsletter, for example. And then below that, I can select or I can input some text. Again, yeah, sign up, for example. Below that, I can then select my button text, so sign me up, for example. And then I've got a few other options here to set the button color and the text color. In additional options, I can select where I'd like the popover to be shown. So it gives you good flexibility of where you like it to be shown on the website. There were other types of popovers that weren't data capture popovers, where they can be information based, where you can have like a banner, for example. But for a data capture, you're likely to have it in the middle or towards the left. Once you have that, you can preview it on the website. So I've got our demo website here, which I'll grab the URL from, paste that in there, preview on the website, and then it should show me a preview of that popover. So you can see it here. I can see it in different modes. I can view on a tablet and on a mobile as well. So as you can see, it's a really quick and easy way to push that popover live just by creating that within Squeezely. This will hopefully enhance the number of users who are signing up to your newsletter list. Once I've had that, I can click on save. Below that, I've got my different variants. So if I did want to test out some different text or images, I could create a variant of that popover, but I'll stick with the one for the time being. Below that, I can set my distribution. So you can see here, if I was using different variants, I could then set who sees which variant, for example, and what percentage of those variants are shown, but I'll leave it as default. I've only got one. Below that, I can set my audiences. This is a really key part of using popovers to make sure you are getting the most out of them and they don't become too intrusive for that user. So what I'll do is I will turn off all of the default audiences that we have in Squeezely, and I'll use my own custom audiences. So a great example of this is I might want to include audiences of email not known, for example. So for anyone who we are not aware of their email address, let's show them this popover. And let's exclude people who we already know the email address for. So if someone's already signed up to your newsletter previously, or they filled in this popover before, there is no need for us to show this to them again. So let's just remove them from this popover. So again, it's sort of really just showing this popover to people who need to see it rather than to everyone. So hopefully should improve the engagement with that popover. I can then save that. Below that, I can then set where the popover is shown. So I can leave it set to show everywhere, or I could only show it on certain pages. So it might be just on the home page, Below that, I can set on what devices, so desktop and mobile. So it might be that you only want to show on desktop. You could then just uncheck mobile there, but I'll leave it as tick for both of those. Excluded URLs, quite a useful tool. So it might be that I don't want to show this on the basket page, for example. So if the URL contains the word basket, don't show this popover. They've already got too far into the buying journey to sort of pester them with a sign up form. Let's let them complete their purchase, and hopefully you might have a newsletter checkbox within that checkout process. So they might sign up there instead. Again, you might want to do a partial URL search of checkout, for example. So if they are on a page on the website that contains the word checkout, don't show the popover on that page. Click on save and you're happy with that. Below, you've got the trigger settings, so you can set when the popover should show. So you can set your delay here. So it might be that you want it to show on exit intent. So as soon as someone moves their mouse to the top of the page or the side of the page, they will see the popover. Or it might be after a certain number of seconds. So you can set it to 10 seconds. It'd be quite useful if you could maybe, if you are using Google Analytics and you are tracking sort of how long people spend on a page, you could have a look and you could see, right, on average for our customers, they spend about 10 seconds or so before they go and exit that page. So if you know that, let's set that to 9 and hopefully get them just before they leave. Or quite a clever tool is you can say, right, after they've scrolled a certain percentage of the page, then show them the popover. So there's a few different options you can use here. If you are going to show this on mobile, I'd recommend using the after X number of seconds option, because on mobile, we can't detect where the finger is, unfortunately. So you're going to need to use a timer rather than just relying on exit intent. But you can definitely leave both of these as checked. So on desktop, it would work on as exit intent and delayed after 9 seconds. And then for mobile, it's just going to be after 9 seconds. Click on save. You can then set the attribution. So you can just sort of set the tracking here. So I want to use email opt-in as my sort of tracking attribution here. So when someone signs up, we can then count the number of opt-ins from that popover. Below that, we've got a frequency cap. So you can see here, I only want to show this maybe once every 30 days. So again, just to maximize the use and make sure it's not too intrusive, you could set here that if someone does close it down, it won't be shown to them again for another 30 days. So just making sure, yeah, that you're not being too intrusive with that popover. Click on save. That's really it. So you can save and publish stats. It's a really quick way of gathering new signups on the website. I think the really important thing here that you need to have a play around with, if you did want to go ahead and sort of use Squeeze to create those popovers, is just making sure you're setting those audiences. So as I said, sort of email not known or email known is a great one for an email sign up. But there are other ones where you could have them going through a different journey if they're maybe a VIP. So only show that on certain pages, or only include people who have spent over a certain amount to try and introduce, you know, they might get their own special discount, for example. So yeah, using these audiences allows you to really sort of make it quite granular as to who sees that play to capture popover. I think that's probably it for today. I appreciate it's quite a short one today, but that was all I had sort of to go through. So yeah, thank you for your time today. If you do have any further questions after we finish today, or you need help implementing any of the options we've gone through today, you can reach out to your account manager or the support team. They'll be more than happy to give you a hand. So yeah, thanks again for joining today, and hope you have a good rest of your day. Cheers.